I don't like Splatoon that much. I never really got into it. So but
it's like Nintendo's shooter. That's your thing.
Yeah, but it's not like a shoot. It's not like a real shooter though. You can't really focus on getting kills. It's as close as you're gonna get. I know, it's a little unfortunate, but like I was never really good at it, and what I really didn't like is how hard it was for me to like level up and get new weapons and stuff, because I was always trying to play with viewers and stuff, and you need private lobbies to do that, and you can't really unlock stuff with private lobbies.
I think it's just kind of dumb fun at its core. I had a lot of fun. I never played the very first one, I don't think. But the second one, I had a lot of addicted hours in and did some YouTube streams back in the day, but way before Twitch.
Right.
For me, I did some YouTube streams. And I don't know, I really like the game. I love it. I wouldn't say I like dived into it a ton, maybe like 30 hours or something, which really isn't much for a competitive online game like that. But I've been really hyped for 3 and really excited to see more of 3. And they dropped a 30-minute look at 3, and I watched it, and I thought it looked pretty sick. But apparently, half the internet thought it looked like Splatoon 2 again. Did you get a chance to watch the 30 minutes?
I actually didn't. I only read a recap afterwards. Like I went through an article that had all of the new information about it, and it was a long article. Like there's a lot of new stuff in the game. So I know that it might look the same, but I mean, the first trailer that they dropped looked like a totally different game. You were in the friggin' wasteland. You see the friggin' Eiffel Tower in the desert.
All right, you haven't watched it, so this is where it does get pretty upsetting. I don't know what that trailer was, because don't worry about it. Don't worry about that trailer.
I assumed that was the single player that they haven't talked about at all.
No. So did I.
They didn't talk about a single player yet, right?
They did. In the 30-minute event, they talked about it for about 10 seconds, and what they showed was essentially more of the Octopath expansion single-player stuff, where it's just like floating platforms in like a dark void, and you just kind of like platform and like do some puzzles and stuff.
Okay, well, wait. You just really like glossed over it.
Nope, I didn't.
But like saying that a whole game is just puzzles and platforms and stuff. You could say that about a Mario game, a whole Mario game. Like it could be good puzzles and platforms. No, it is
good. No, don't get me wrong. It is good. And it was good in 2, but it was very much like this. It's not really a story. It's kind of just like these little platforming areas with some like fun times, and then it's over, and it's kind of like, it's forgettable, really, I guess. But by the look of the trailer of 3, and by the way, I liked the new 30-minute direct, but we're just at the one thing I didn't like. By the look of the trailer before this direct, they made it look like there was a full story based in like a, I don't know, apocalyptic world or something.
Yeah, I want that. I want more of that. Give me that.
No, that's not, I don't know what that was, because it was not in the 30-minute direct. It wasn't present. I actually watched that direct after everyone got upset about the direct, and I was like, well, let's see what people are upset about. And I loved it. I thought that everyone was insane. But that 10 seconds where they glossed over the story and all they showed with the little platforms again, that was pretty upsetting. I got to be honest. That bummed me out.
I have to watch that, because I that's what I'm most excited for. That's the thing. I don't want to watch a whole 30-minute trailer just to see the little 10 seconds, you know? I like to just see that part.
The conversation I want to have, though, is like when is a sequel and when is it a remake? Because like, I guess a lot of people are just calling this a remake of 2, or essentially like it's DLC for 2, and what have they really changed, and what actually constitutes a brand new release. And yeah, I want to have that conversation with you. My first thought is just like, we're still releasing games on Switch. You know, this console is about 5-6 years old, and it's been around so long, we're starting to get sequels of games that had sequels when the thing released. So yeah, there's only so much you're going to be able to do with it. What were you expecting? What were you expecting Splatoon to look like on the same hardware?
I think the biggest issue here is that this is mostly a multiplayer game, and when you add little things to a multiplayer game, it changes the whole game. Yeah. So most of the changes aren't going to be cosmetic changes. They're going to be like a whole slew of different weapons, which they have, and you know, new maps and stuff. And that's that's the core of that's the game. That's the core of the game right there. And that's going to change a lot coming from somebody who's not that big into Splatoon. But I've played enough multiplayer games to know that if you change the maps around, if you change the weapons that you use, it's going to change the whole freaking game. And I'm sure there's going to be mechanics that change too. And that's going to change the whole game.
Yeah, they added all new weapons. And then like the world, but the little town is getting fleshed out more with more clothes and armor essentially, or like status effects, special abilities. It looks wild and wacky now. Like the one thing I'm actually worried about is, you know, when you play Smash with like all items on, it's just absolute chaos. And like, if you want like a real challenge, you turn those items off. You do a 1v1 Captain Falcon versus Sora, and I win every time.
Yeah, of course.
But that's what I'm a little worried about with Splatoon. I'm sure it's going to be chaotic fun, but like the trailers they were showing, they had like these radius effects going on where like someone put down like this bomb that was like causing like outward rings you'd have to jump over while someone was like riding in on a shark and like exploding, and then people were using their ultimate abilities and grenades were going off, and it's like, am I actually going to get to play this game and get technical with it, or am I going to be dodging bombs every second? So I'm actually worried they've added too much, but I won't know that until I've played it and gotten a feel of it.
Do you remember what it was like when the trailer for the second game came out? Because I saw that and I thought it was very similar to the first game. And I never played.
And those games were so different.
I never played the first Splatoon. So just
it was very bare bones, apparently.
Looking at the two of them, I was like, this is the same game. I think even the rumors were that they were remaking the first game for the Switch or porting it. And then it was a surprise when it turned out to be a whole new game. So it's not like this is any different. Like, I don't know what people were expecting. I think the people who are bitching about this are people who didn't play Splatoon anyway.
Yeah, maybe they were like wanting Splatoon to look so much different so that they could play it now.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe they're like bitching in behalf of the Splatoon community, but I'm sure that the Splatoon community is just fine.
That happens a lot.
Because
that happens a lot.
I was one of them. Like back when the second game got announced, I thought that it didn't look any different from the first game, but I never played the first game. So I didn't know what I was talking about. Now that I've played Splatoon 2 and I'm seeing Splatoon 3, I think Splatoon 3 looks different enough to warrant a sequel.
I think so too. Splatoon 1 and 2, I don't remember the reaction to 2, but if you're saying that people said it looked the same, it didn't. It wasn't. 1 was very bare bones, and then 2 managed to add a lot in, and that was the good one. People loved 2. And they went into 30 minutes of information of all the stuff they were adding into this one. There's a giant manta ray called the Big Man. Did you see him on Twitter?
Yes, I did.
He's adorable.
He's part of the trio, right? He's part of like the
He's part of the 3 that will probably bombard you and harass you every time you turn the game on to tell you. You remember that?
That's another little UI
that was
issue.
The main reason. Fixed. That's the main reason I didn't play Splatoon 2, because every time I thought about like booting it up, I just was like, I don't want to sit through that again. You know what? I'll play something else.
I used to use Splatoon 2 to test motion controls on different controllers all the time. And I would always forget that I have to go through that every time. And I'd be like, I just want to quickly get in and just see if the controls work.
For those that haven't played Splatoon 2, when you load it up, the 2 little squid girls give you a whole rundown on the news every time you boot the game up, as well as like the maps that are playable right now, stuff like that. I swear it took like 10 minutes to get through.
Even when there's no news and you have to mash through it. It's very annoying.
And you can't, you have to mash, but it doesn't actually speed anything up.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get through it.
It's such a terrible like user experience choice.
I think they even said that you can skip it this time. I'm pretty sure my chat was like,
"Let's go!" I need proof of that though. I don't believe them. I do not believe that at all.
I will believe it when I see it. That'll be the biggest quality of life improvement that'll warrant this being Splatoon.
What 3. A terrible world we live in where that is like our biggest hope for this stupid game. Also, another one is the matchmaking. Like, matchmaking is a lot easier. You can join up with your friends a lot easier in this one. And that's such a stupid, feature that we shouldn't need to be excited about.
You shouldn't have to be excited about that. But I always am. What game was
I playing? With Nintendo, yes.
Oh, I played Lego Brawlers a little early.
The hell is that?
It's not out. I am sponsored by them, but I'm not being sponsored right now. But I do know they don't like being compared to certain things.
Okay, I know exactly what it is.
Have you ever heard of multiverses and
yeah, I know that game.
Well, that's a different conversation. Let's get back to Lego Brawls. When I played that, all we had to do was make a lobby. All I had to do was make a lobby, and then there was a little code, and then I gave it to my friends, and they joined my game. I didn't have to add them. There was like eight player lobbies and everything like that. I don't understand why these games that are on Switch can do this so easily and so seamlessly, but then you have like Battle Strikers or whatever.
First party Nintendo games are horrible.
First party Nintendo games where you have to add everyone using their Switch friend code, and then you probably also have to make a room with a code and a password. And then once they've managed to pass all the Fort Knox regulations that Nintendo sets in place to play with your friends, and you finally get in, chances are you won't have access to the full game, and you'll need 2 friends in the same room to play 4 players. Sorry, that's the pent-up aggression.
Yeah, I do have a lot to spill out right now. I think Smash Brothers does it the best, but it's still not the best it could be with the whole room situation.
Interesting comparison to Smash Brothers, because I would say Smash Wii U and Smash Ultimate looked very similar.
Yeah, that was another. I was going to say, the 2 things that I think of when people say that a game isn't different enough, like a sequel isn't different enough.
Yeah.
The first one I think of is Overwatch 2. And the second one that I think of...
I might agree with that one.
The second one that I think of is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That was another one. The rumors were that they were just remaking Smash Wii U.
Yeah, that was for a long time.
Yeah. And then even the trailer, when the trailer first started, we were all like, okay, it's just Smash. Oh, no, that's not true. When they announced it, we saw the Inklings, and we were like, oh, this is going to be... They're going to at least add the Inklings. So, yeah. But Smash Ultimate does look a lot like Smash Wii U. I think it's based off of the same engine, but they changed a lot.
Do you remember watching the Smash Ultimate reveal trailer? Like, not the Splatoon one, the next one, where they were listing all the characters and they were coming in with numbers, and they just kept going and going. And you're like, oh, yeah.
It never ended. It was fucking awesome.
But the moment when there's like a screen like with nothing, and then Snake like zips in, and then it says everyone is here.
Yeah.
I still get tingles every time I watch that, because like seeing Snake is the character that you would be like waiting to see, because if he's there, everyone's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like, they figured out everything.
Yeah, because Snake was only in Brawl, and then and it was a huge deal when he was in that.
Yeah.
Wait, no, yeah, I'm not wrong, right? He wasn't in Wii U. He skipped Wii U, and then when he was in,
he would have had to have been
when he was in Switch. The Switch one, we were like, oh, he's back. And then it's like, everyone's here. Oh, everyone's here. Wow. How could this get any better?
And that's crazy, because you think about how hyped that was, how excited everyone was. No one was like, do we need this game?
Yeah.
But then you look at Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. Yeah, visually, they're very similar. I mean, more so, I would say, than the Wii U and Smash, because it's on the same console with the same hardware. Mm-hmm. But the main difference between those Smash games and these Splatoon games is just chocked full of content.
I'm pretty sure when I first played the Ultimate at E3, I'm pretty sure my little hands-on review was that it felt exactly the same. It felt like the exact same game. But that's because I didn't really know. I wasn't really like I played a decent amount of Smash, but I was never really that into it. I didn't really get that into it until Ultimate. That's when I really started trying to like get good at it.
I've taught you a lot.
I would probably have a lot more to compare the two now. Like if I jumped back on the Wii U one, I'd probably be like, this is way different. But I just choked on my own spit. I got too excited talking about
I do that all the time. Yeah, you're talking about Smash. You gotta calm down.
So now I would probably have a lot more to compare it to.
I find that with Smash too. Every time a new one has come out, it's had more characters, but the game has been the same. At least that's how it felt every generation. But whenever you go back, God, it's such a shock to the system.
Especially the way it feels they all feel drastically different. But when you look at them, you're like, oh, it's the same core game. But really, once you get your hands on it, you're like, whoa.
I know 64 was on 64, but I'm telling you, I just like playing one at a time as they come out. You just kind of, you forget. You go back and play 64, it's like playing in mud. Like
I don't like Melee. I mean, it's like, it's a good GameCube game, but people really put that in too high regard. Like, it's good, but like, things have gotten a lot better since then.
I think Ultimate plays a lot better in my opinion. I think Ultimate plays the best, but I get that Melee before Ultimate was the best one, and there's nostalgia there, and it's GameCube and the GameCube controller, which people still swear by even with Ultimate.
Right.
So I get that core Melee experience.
It's Melee was one of the best fighting games for many, many years. Like over 10 years, it was the best fighting game. But we've gotten past that. It's been there's a lot of time has passed, and going back to that, it's hard. It's hard to get used to that.
So where do we stand on Splatoon? Worth it? Worth the third installment?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta play it, but I mean, I think it. I from what I've seen, it looks like they changed enough to warrant a whole new one, for sure.
Yeah,
and also like you're paying $60. A lot of people are saying they would rather it be DLC. How much DLC? What would you pay? $40 for it? And also, that won't get as big of a user base.
No,
You'd
exactly.
segment the
That's
user base with the DLC like that.
Yeah, that would just be sad. Like, the game's been out for 5 years. You know that the player base is dwindled down to the core audience, which is, I can't imagine that many people left playing a 5-year-old game. You're going to release DLC for it now? All that work you're going to throw out there for what, $20-25 to have a few thousand people pick up the old game again, and then that be it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think people are also really underestimating how much content. I make that mistake all the time. All the content that's going to be in it. I think it's going to be like the 1 and 2 situation where people are going to get it in their hands and they're going to be like, oh, this feels completely different. Like going from Wii U Smash to Ultimate.